Titans people next door. He is the real deal.
Extra pressure is picked. I think he'll be a starter, or at least play a whole lot for this Buccaneer defense.
So before your final year at Miami, there's a lot of conversation revolved around Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, I'm assuming you guys have a great relationship. Some of the clips you've seen and stuff like that. What is it like for you to have like this rivalry with Shedeur?
I don't have a rivalry with him. That's my boy. So at the end of the day, this whole process, we thought me and him were going to be 1 and 2 the whole time. Whether he's 1, I'm 2, whether I'm 1, he's 2. And so that's just always been, our mindset. It didn't go that way. I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks in the draft as well, even throughout college. A lot of stuff out there on him ain't really, the truth, just because they spin it different ways. Like they spin stuff about me different ways. But I mean, when he gets his chance, become a starter, I know he's gonna make the most of it. And I'm ready to get back to work with him. After the season, talk some more stuff to him. Say some crazy stuff. I mean,
the NFL figured it had seen every storyline until Cam Ward stormed in and turned the tables, shining a spotlight on the unfair treatment of Shedeur Sanders. In a league where raw talent is supposed to rise above politics, Ward's fearless words do more than back up a teammate. They force the entire league to face a conversation it's been dodging for far too long. If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. Cam Ward calling out the way Shedeur Sanders is being mistreated in the NFL hit the league like a lightning strike. For months, the buzz around Shedeur has been overwhelming. Record-breaking rookie deal, Nike's chosen face, the savior of a franchise starving for relevance. But instead of honoring him as the once-in-a-generation talent he is, critics, commentators, and even insiders have lined up to tear him down. That's where Ward changed the game. By speaking up, he didn't just stand beside another quarterback. He pulled back the curtain on an ugly reality. This league has a history of punishing players who dare to become bigger than the playbook, and Shedeur is the latest target.
Listen, I'm a generational talent. I'm gonna prove him right. I'm gonna prove him right, don't worry.
Oh my God.
An article came out today, I'm generational. So I guess it's article versus article. I like that you think that, man. But we all know the truth. What? Trav gonna be first?
You generational, I'm legendary.
That's cool. You can be legendary. Man. Legendary get their ass.
We'll start doing it in like 5 minutes.
Generational is once every 100 years.
I'm tired of them comparisons, bro. That's just what they say, man.
They don't make no comparison to me. I'm in my own category.
Hell no.
I put myself in that category.
Come
on, you can't fuck with me. Come on, gang. They use the word generational and it's confusing between you and Travis. My shit legendary, that's my word.
Shedeur Sanders hasn't just been suiting up, he's been carrying a brand, a family legacy, and a mountain of expectations most rookies couldn't dream of handling. Before he even threw a pass, the NFL had already cast him as the main character, and instead of celebrating that, critics rushed to tear it down. To them, Shedeur wasn't a quarterback, he was a marketing machine, a storyline built on hype. But Cam Ward wasn't buying it. He cut through the noise and pointed out the double standard. If any other rookie came in with Shedeur's resume, the league would already be rolling out the red carpet and crowning him the next great star.
It's like going through this process with Shedeur. I know your buddy of yours, and how do you think both you guys will end up doing in the league?
I think we'll both end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I just think the work that me and him are willing to put in, the relationship we have to constantly compete each and every day, to better our craft, for ourselves. I just think it's gonna end up paying off for us in the long run.
You guys kid each other about who's going first and how much that matters?
Yeah, we play around, we joke around with it. It really don't mean nothing. Draft pick would never mean anything. At the end of the day, you gotta show whether you can prove each and every Sunday. You can't just do it one year and show up the next year. You gotta do it every time you step.
The disrespect comes stacked in layers. First, there's the relentless reminder that Shedeur Sanders is Deion Sanders' son, as if his bloodline somehow cancels out the work he's put in on the field. Every storyline seems to loop back to his father, downplaying the fact that Shedeur has built his own resume. Then comes the constant nitpicking of his fame, as though being a cultural icon at such a young age should be seen as a weakness instead of a strength. Rather than acknowledging him as the attraction, the ticket seller, the ratings driver, the spotlight grabber, they spin it like he's exploiting a glitch in the system. To them, Shedeur hasn't succeeded, he's broken some unwritten rule by being magnetic.
Okay. Now, when I look at this stat line here, even though some people would look at the yards, some people would look at the touchdowns, what I'm seeing is the efficiency, but more or less, the sack yards. And the sack yards say what, Peggy?
5 of 41.
Okay, then go to the next one.
Joe Flacco was 1 sack for 9 yards.
Go to the next one.
Dylan Gabriel was 0-0.
Hello!
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of determining factors there, Peggy. And I think what we all want to see is equal rights.
Yes.
When Cam Ward spoke up, it wasn't just about defending Shedeur, it was a direct shot at the NFL machine itself. The harsh reality is this: the league thrives on star power, but it resents any star who refuses to follow its script. Rookies are expected to stay quiet, act humble, accept whatever they're given, and wait their turn. Shedeur Sanders never played by those rules. He entered with swagger, confidence, and a contract that turned heads, even among veterans. Instead of showing him respect, critics rushed to label him entitled. That's the double standard Ward exposed, the league's fear of a player who refuses to shrink to fit.
So now it sounds like the Cleveland Browns are going to all but imprison Shedeur Sanders in the football sense of a very talented rookie quarterback who obviously needs reps, needs an opportunity, and who now, barring some miraculous luck, will not get the opportunity to play in a single real game. I'm sure many around the NFL are celebrating as we speak. They are chuckling about this. Many in the NFL wanted to teach Shedeur and his daddy a lesson.
The Cleveland Browns became ground zero for the controversy. With Nike investing billions into Shedeur, the expectation was simple: he has to be on the field. But the Browns hesitated, leaning on their safe option in Joe, like they didn't realize they were sitting on a cultural goldmine. And every time they kept Shedeur sidelined, the whispers grew louder. Analysts mocked his deal. Critics sneered at his relevance. Fans questioned if he was even worth the hype. It wasn't fair, it was sabotage disguised as patience. Ward's defense of Shedeur ripped the mask off. When Shedeur does it, he's called arrogant. When other players sign endorsement deals, they're applauded for securing the bag. When Shedeur cashes the biggest rookie deal in history, he's accused of being overhyped. The double standard is glaring, and Cam Ward didn't mince words in calling it what it was: wrongful treatment, plain and simple.
Shedeur fans need to recognize there's not a team in the league he'd start for. Not one. That's not ridiculous. That's not unfair. That's not a vast conspiracy.
Shedeur Sanders fans are Angel Reese fans. They're just fair weather fans who don't really give a fuck about the sport. Most of them are just Dion fucking groupies that followed him when he went to fucking Colorado, just like Angel Reese's fans had never watched basketball prior to her playing at LSU, and they followed her to the WNBA and don't know shit about the sport. That's it. Now Dion fucking groupies are running around acting like, oh, this is payback to his dad. That's why he dropped to the 5th round. Shedeur Sanders wasn't a 1st or 2nd round talent.
And the timing couldn't be more critical. Shedeur isn't just another player trying to fit into the NFL machine. He is the machine right now. He's the story that keeps debate shows running, the clip that fuels social media, the jersey that fans are buying in record numbers. Every metric that matters in modern sports says the same thing: Shedeur Sanders is the draw. Yet somehow, there's still a faction that wants to tear him down. They're not judging him by his talent, they're judging him by their discomfort with his spotlight. Ward's words hit like a sledgehammer because they resonated with the truth everyone could see but few wanted to admit. Their movements, their cultural phenomena. Nike understood this when they made him the highest paid rookie ever. The question is why so many in the NFL still pretend they don't. The treatment of Shedeur exposes the contradictions of the league. On one hand, the NFL loves stars, they need them to sell tickets, fill stadiums, and boost ratings. On the other hand, they're terrified of stars they can't control.
Worst habit that I've seen him have is he does not step up in the pocket. he's not used to having a meaningful line. He has created a habit over time. Over these many years, I've seen this kind of happen, but he's been able to get away with it. It's not all to say that it's his fault for those sacks, because the ball is still in your hands as a quarterback. Get the ball out of your hands. And it's also, too, from a quarterback perspective, you know who's in that huddle. Shedeur Sanders had bad body language under the pretense of him knowing, like, come on. But 4 of those 5 guys that was protecting him is gone.
And Shedeur Sanders is uncontrollable. He doesn't need the league to build him up. He built himself up long before he ever got there. That independence is what scares the establishment. Cam Ward defending him wasn't just about Shedeur, it was about sending a warning. If the NFL keeps clinging to its outdated mentality, it's going to find itself left behind by the very players who drive its success. The haters love to say Shedeur isn't even that popular, as if his millions of followers, sold-out merchandise, and constant media presence are imaginary. They love to say he's not a real quarterback, as if his college numbers didn't prove otherwise. And the irony is, the more they try to tear him down, the bigger he becomes. Every headline doubting him just adds to his legend. Every hot take dismissing him just fuels the fire. That's the curse of trying to undermine someone who was built for the spotlight. You can't dim it, you can only make it brighter. Shedeur Sanders isn't just surviving the criticism, he's thriving off it.
In sports has ever angered me more than what the NFL has done to Shedeur Sanders. The Browns showed you their hand by taking Dillon Gabriel 50 slots higher than they wound up taking Shedeur. The head coach, Kevin Stefanski, did not want Shedeur Sanders. The GM, Andrew Berry, clearly did not want Shedeur Sanders, but quarterback injuries conspired against the Browns to start with. They were forced, of course, to give Shedeur a shot in the first preseason game, only because of all that spate of injuries.
That's why Ward's defense was so powerful. It wasn't just an ally standing up for a fellow quarterback, it was a mirror held up to the entire league. The treatment of Shedeur Sanders reveals more about the insecurities of the NFL than it does about him. He's not the problem. He's the future. The question is whether the NFL is ready to accept that or if they'll keep pretending they can ignore it. Because here's the reality, Shedeur Sanders isn't going anywhere. He's already redefined what it means to be a rookie. Whether the league likes it or not, Shedeur Sanders is the standard now, and everyone else is playing catch-up. The ripple effect of Cam Ward's defense of Shedeur Sanders can't be understated. This wasn't just a soundbite that faded after a 24-hour news cycle. It set off alarms across the NFL. Suddenly, commentators who had spent months laughing at Shedeur's deal and dismissing his presence were forced to shift their tone.
I don't think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter. And I'm gonna admit something on TV that you probably shouldn't. I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I wanted to turn the film on and be able to come on First Take, be on Get Up, and be on NFL Live and pound the table that he has been done wrong. Pound the table that he deserves.
The NFL media machine is built on narratives, and for months the narrative was that Shedeur was overhyped, a product of his father's legacy and Nike's marketing budget. But Ward shattered that script in real time. He reminded everyone that this wasn't about hype, it was about respect. And respect is exactly what Shedeur has been denied since day one. Look at how other rookies are treated. When a #1 draft pick gets picked up by a struggling team, the media can't wait to crown them the savior. The league has players begging for relevancy, desperate to get their name in the headlines, but when Shedeur does it effortlessly, he's scolded for being too flashy. When he walks with confidence, they call it arrogance. When he embraces his platform, they accuse him of being a brand first and a quarterback second. Cam Ward was right to call it out, because the double standard is blatant. If Shedeur Sanders had a different name, a different background, the NFL would be promoting him as the next big thing nonstop. Instead, they're trying to pretend like he doesn't deserve the stage he's already standing on.
Shedeur was fantastic last night. I'm rooting for him to succeed in the NFL, but this is a little too much here, right? This is just a little too much. Last night after the game, Nike drops an ad, only a matter of time, with the caption, when you get your opportunity, create your next one. I get what they're doing. They probably hit their social media impressions and engagement goals last night because this went off. But the bottom line is, save this for when he wins a regular season game. This is the kind of stuff why people don't like Shedeur. It's not Shedeur himself. He's a good kid. He's a good role model. He's a good quarterback. But people trying to boost him up like this for a preseason start is why we have issues and why people want to see him fail.
The Browns' role in this circus only adds more fuel. Let's be honest, Cleveland hasn't exactly been a hotbed of quarterback stability. This is the team that went through more quarterbacks in 2 decades than some franchises have in their entire history. And yet here they are, sitting on the most marketable rookie in NFL history, and they're acting like they don't know what to do with him. The idea that Shatter should sit behind Joe, just waiting quietly for his turn, is laughable. Because the longer Shatter sat, the easier it was for critics to say, see? He's not ready. He's not worth it. That's what Cam Ward was pushing back against. Shatter isn't being judged by his talent, he's being judged by circumstances the team created. And it's wrong. Every rookie quarterback struggles, but only Shatter is being attacked for being too visible, too successful off the field, and too influential for his own good.
Shedeur Sanders for MVP already. Now, let me not take it too far, but it's another example of how quick and fast Nike is with their marketing. Perfect. Shedeur is the perfect athlete to work with. He's unique. He sticks to himself and his family for the most part. He's marketable. He's charismatic. He smiles. All of the above. And Nike is so quick with the timing. They say only a matter of time. Come on, man. I told y'all, Reebok.
Ward's defense hit at the heart of the issue, jealousy. Shatter's deal exposed the insecurities of veterans who never had this kind of opportunity. His popularity frustrated analysts who didn't know how to handle a player bigger than their talking points. His swagger annoyed fans who still think athletes should be grateful servants rather than cultural icons. Every ounce of hate Shatter receives is rooted in the fact that he's living a version of the dream that others couldn't. And Ward made that clear. But let's dig deeper. The treatment of Shedeur Sanders says more about the NFL than it does about him. This is a league that thrives on stars but struggles to let those stars control the narrative. They want athletes who sell tickets but don't question the system. They want personalities, but only on their terms. If Shatter were treated fairly, the conversation wouldn't be about whether he deserves to play, it would be about how quickly he can change the Browns' future. But instead, he's battling narratives that have nothing to do with football. They're not asking if he can make the throws, they're asking if he's too popular. They're not questioning his ability to lead, they're questioning if he deserves his paycheck. The whole thing is absurd, and Ward knew it. That's why his words hit like a grenade.
So you mean to tell me, and this is not me taking shots at anybody who said it, but you mean to tell me that a guy who has dedicated his life and his career to the game and the development of players has chosen Shedeur Sanders as the one to sabotage? The son of an NFL legend? The game that Kevin Stefanski has dedicated his life to be a part of? He's gonna choose that guy? Do you guys know Kevin Stefanski? Have you ever spent time with Kevin Stefanski and gotten to know the guy? I have. He's a 10. He's not gonna.
And the fallout has only just begun. Fans rallied behind Shatter even harder after Ward's defense, calling out the haters and pointing to the obvious double standards. Suddenly, it wasn't just Shatter against the critics, it was Shatter with an army behind him. Nike, of course, loved every second of it. Controversy sells, and the more the league tried to tear Shatter down, the bigger his brand became. If the NFL thought it could quietly sideline him and wait for the hype to die, Ward's intervention made sure that wasn't happening. The bigger question now is how the NFL adapts. Because whether they like it or not, Shedeur Sanders is the future. He's not just a player, he's a symbol of where the league is heading. The next generation of athletes won't just play football, they'll run empires. What makes this even more fascinating is how Shatter himself handles the noise. While critics try to undermine him, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't back down or shrink from the spotlight, he thrives in it. Every doubt, every insult, every so-called analysis that minimizes him just adds fuel to the fire. Shedeur isn't just playing for himself, he's proving a point. He's showing that being unapologetically visible, unapologetically confident, and unapologetically successful is not a flaw, it's the new standard.
He played with the threes. Anyone with half a brain could see 4 of the 5 guys got waived yesterday. He was running for his life. I mean, if I'm that kid's father, uncle, brother, I'm going, you know what? Let us go somewhere we can try and play.
Please.
We can be developed. There never was a 4-man competition. Never. Shedeur was never in the competition. And if that's how the Browns see it, rightfully so. Why'd you draft him? Why'd you draft him?
Kurt Warner also added this morning, I was really looking forward to seeing the competition between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in the last preseason game. I know it plays out like this sometimes, but a bummer that both didn't have the same opportunities.
And that's what terrifies the old guard. They're used to controlling the narrative. They're used to players needing the league for relevance. But Shedeur Sanders doesn't need the NFL to be relevant, he's already relevant. That's the leverage that makes people uncomfortable. Cam Ward understood that, which is why his defense landed like a sledgehammer. It wasn't just about Shedeur being treated unfairly, it was about exposing how outdated the NFL's mindset still is. The next few months will decide everything. Either way, Shedeur wins. He wins because people are watching, talking, debating, and obsessing over him in a way they aren't for anyone else. He wins because Nike will keep backing him no matter what the critics say. He wins because every ounce of hate thrown his way only proves how much he matters. And maybe that's the ultimate irony.
I'm a massive Shedeur Sanders fan. I'm a massive fan of what Deion Sanders has done at Colorado. I have a Shedeur Sanders jersey in my closet. But the victory lapping I'm seeing on this app and over on Twitter right now about Sanders, it's absurd and it's delusional. I understand that a lot of Shedeur Sanders fans became college football fans whenever Deion came to Colorado. Now they're becoming NFL fans as Shedeur goes to the NFL. But what you need to understand is if Shedeur Sanders replicates his exact performance every time he steps on the field in preseason, that still might not be enough to play a singular snap in the regular season. And that sounds crazy, but it's really not. It happens pretty regularly. If you replace the name Shedeur Sanders with any other name, you can see why. For example, I would say that both Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson actually looked better than Shedeur Sanders. Mason Rudolph came in, went 9 for 10, left the game. Skylar Thompson comes in and goes 20 for 28 for 3 touchdowns. Do we think that Skylar Thompson has any chance at all of being the Steelers' quarterback of the future? No, of course he doesn't.
The NFL can keep pretending Shedeur Sanders doesn't fit their mold, but the truth is, he's already broken it. He's already bigger than the criticism, bigger than the doubts, and bigger than the league's outdated idea of what a rookie should be. Cam Ward simply reminded everyone of that fact. And in doing so, he didn't just defend Shedeur Sanders, he defended the future of the NFL. In the end, Cam Ward's defense of Shedeur Sanders is more than just a teammate standing up for another young star, it's a wake-up call to the NFL. He isn't simply a rookie quarterback with hype, he's the face of a generational shift where visibility, charisma, and marketability matter just as much as passing yards and touchdowns. By standing with Shedeur, Cam Ward positions himself not only as a talented player but as a voice of reason in a sport that too often resists change. If the NFL continues treating Shedeur as though his success is a fluke or undeserved, they risk alienating a wave of fans who see him as the future. Whether critics like it or not, Shedeur Sanders is here to stay, and the respect he commands will only grow. With Cam Ward backing him up, the league is officially on notice. The era of underestimating Shedeur Sanders is already over.